Good morning. This is Pulse Point News. I'm Sophia Grant. It's Wednesday, August 6th. Here are the top stories that shaped the news in the United States on Tuesday, August 5th. Markets climbed Tuesday as the Federal Reserve hinted at a possible interest rate cut next month. A husunod alap pontkshakenes most valosinu, atishvisalok lagiab munkairo novekedest, is enihulo inflacios niomast emlitenek. Investors welcome the shift toward looser monetary policy. Meanwhile, Palantir Technologies stunned Wall Street with a 48% revenue jump in Q2, crossing the $1 billion mark for the first time. Demand for Palantir's AI-powered defense software and government platforms continues to soar. The company also raised its full-year revenue guidance, sending its stock up more than 6%. Analysts believe Palantir could soon rival the biggest U.S. tech firms in valuation. Between a potential Fed pivot and booming corporate earnings, investor confidence saw a noticeable lift across major indices. The Nasdaq and S&P 500 both posted modest gains, capping a day driven by both policy optimism and AI-fueled market enthusiasm. U.S. markets slipped Tuesday afternoon following disappointing service sector data. The ISM Services Index for July showed weaker than expected expansion, triggering concerns about a slowdown in consumer spending. The S&P 500 dropped 0.5%, the Nasdaq fell 0.7%, and the Dow edged down 0.1%. Despite strong quarterly earnings from several major companies, investors turned cautious. Sectors such as travel, hospitality, and retail are showing early signs of strain, with analysts pointing to inflation and recent tariffs as contributing factors. While the Fed may move to cut rates, some experts believe policy changes may not be enough to counter broader demand-side pressures. Consumer sentiment appears to be cooling, especially among middle-income households. Wall Street is now watching closely for August economic data and upcoming corporate forecasts to gauge how resilient the recovery really is heading into the fall. Donald Trump announced sweeping new tariffs Tuesday on foreign-made semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. Some drugs could face import duties as high as 250%. Trump claims the tariffs will reduce reliance on overseas suppliers, bring back U.S. manufacturing jobs, and lower prices over time. But the move sparked immediate concern from global allies. The European Union and Switzerland began urgent talks to avoid penalties, while India faces scrutiny over its trade ties with Russia. Industry leaders warn the tariffs could lead to shortages of essential medications and higher costs for American patients. Pharmaceutical and tech companies are lobbying against the measures, citing potential damage to supply chains and innovation. Trump defended the plan as necessary to protect national interests and eliminate unfair foreign competition. Economists remain divided, with some predicting price spikes and trade retaliation. The new tariffs are expected to take effect within weeks, barring legal or congressional intervention. A dramatic political battle escalated in Texas as Democratic lawmakers fled the state to block a Republican redistricting vote. Their departure prevented the legislature from meeting quorum, halting efforts to pass new district maps seen by critics as favoring the GOP. In response, Governor Greg Abbott authorized arrest warrants for the absent lawmakers, calling their actions undemocratic. Former President Trump weighed in Tuesday, saying the FBI might have to get involved, and declared Republicans deserve those seats. The comments sparked fierce backlash from civil rights advocates, who warn the GOP plan may reduce minority representation. Republicans insist the redistricting effort complies with legal guidelines and court rulings. The Texas standoff has drawn national attention, highlighting rising tensions over voting rights, legislative rules, and the balance of power at the state level. With both sides refusing to back down, the standoff shows no signs of resolution. More than 140 national security-related positions remain vacant across key U.S. agencies, causing growing concern among security experts. Critical roles at the Departments of Defense, Energy, and Homeland Security are unstaffed due to delayed Senate confirmations and political gridlock. The Trump administration blames obstruction from Senate Democrats, while others say the White House failed to prioritize qualified nominations. Analysts warn the leadership void could hamper America's response to cyber threats, military conflicts, or biological emergencies. Intelligence coordination and interagency communication are reportedly strained, with acting officials stretched thin. Some vacancies have lasted over 6 months. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle now face mounting pressure to fast-track nominations and restore full leadership capacity. Security experts argue the U.S. cannot afford prolonged vulnerability at a time of increasing international tension and technological warfare. Scientists have confirmed that August 5th was the third shortest day of this summer as Earth's rotation sped up slightly. The day was shortened by approximately 1.3 milliseconds, a small but measurable shift. Though invisible to everyday experience, these micro-variations are being tracked closely by scientists. Since 2020, Earth has shown an unusual trend of speeding up, with possible causes including glacial melt, core movement, ocean currents, and tectonic activity. These rotational changes can affect precision systems like satellite networks, timekeeping instruments, and climate monitoring technology. Researchers emphasize the need for long-term tracking, as continued acceleration could disrupt infrastructure built on exact timing. Though the effects remain minor for now, the phenomenon reflects how Earth's natural systems remain dynamic and interconnected. Observatories and space agencies are coordinating efforts to model future patterns and determine how to adapt existing global systems. That's your morning news for Tuesday, August 5th. Thanks for watching.